Oh, there. Good morning again. Welcome to Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Church in Pasadena, and welcome to all members, friends, and guests. My name, I can do that, is Joyce Wetzeltoft, and I'm happy to serve as your worship associate today. Neighborhood Church creates and grows an inclusive community of faith, connected by love, spirit, and service. We acknowledge our presence in the ancestral and unceded territory of the Gabrielina Tongva peoples, the traditional caretakers of the lands and waters of the campus. We acknowledge our harmful colonial histories and commit to decolonizing our own practices, to learning new ways of being in community with each other and with the land itself. Today's service is led by, this is wrong, it says Dr. Omega. I'm sorry. I just printed it out, so I know it's not. Thank you. Today's service is led by, Antoinette Scully.
I don't have any others.
And that's it. She was just telling me about her background, very, very interesting. But First Unitarian Church in LA is where she's from, but there's a whole lot of other stuff going on with her life. So I think we're in for a treat. Sorry about the glitch here. And Richard An is going to be doing the piano, and I don't think the chorus is here, so. Must be the Thanksgiving things, interfering. Families with young children are always welcome in the sanctuary, and there is an additional play area for the very youngest in our narthex. For adults and older youth who don't need assistance, there's a quiet table over there where they may sit and craft. Now, the script has 2 announcements. I actually am going to sneak a third one in at the end, so just so you know. The first one is join us Saturday here in the sanctuary from 12 to 2 for a decorating party. Kids and families welcome. Secondly, for a recap on the decision not to continue with the solar project at this time, join the collaborative leadership team for a question and answer session tomorrow, Monday, and Zoom at 6 p.m. The Zoom link is in the weekly newsletter. The third one I'm sneaking in is just a reminder that this is the last day for the ACAC gifts for the foster kids, and they're being collected outside at the table. So just in case you signed up and you forgot, first of all, you can always sign up today still, but if you forgot to bring a gift or something, see me after and we'll make arrangements. Our order of service this morning is available as a link in the Sunday email and online by scanning the QR code on the back of your hymnal, if you're here, with your phone camera. Again, welcome to Neighborhood Church, an inclusive faith community connected by love, spirit, and service.
Good morning. Our chalice lighting comes from Kimberly Ann Tomazak Carlson. It's called A Place of Belonging and Caring. It is not by chance that you have arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning for something, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilled a belief and a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so you begin seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home, welcome to worship. Candle went out.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Something fell, but it's okay. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 67, We Sing Now Together. We sing together a song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in God's rich riches of good, for life that enfolds us and helps and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals which our forebears once sought. We sing of the freedoms which martyrs and heroes have won by their labor, their sorrow, their pain, the oppressed befriending, our amber hopes defending. Their death becomes a triumph, they died not in vain. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and man, with those of all races, all times and names and places. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand.
So I'd like to offer a time for all ages. I'm gonna sit here. And if any of you would like to come and join me, you're more than welcome. Oh, I love familiar faces. Come on, Sam. I know. We're all learning and growing. I keep being told that this is very different from how you guys are used to it, but because I've never been here, it's perfect. So to go along with the talk, oh my God, come on. So the book I've chosen today is called See You Soon by Marina Cava and Bianca Diaz. Very beautiful, vivid colors. I love it. Queenie is what they call me, but Reina is my name. I am 6 years old, and my life's about to change. My mama, she's been sick since I was very little. Sometimes she goes away when she isn't feeling well at all. A girl at school named Keisha sometimes says mean things to me. Your mama, she takes drugs. Your mama is a junkie. Keisha's words sting my heart and leave me feeling sad. Don't pay her any mind, my grandma Louise says. Your mama, she's sick, but that doesn't mean she's bad. When mama isn't sick, we are 2 peas in a pod. We shop at the grocery store, roam aisles, even and odd. We share ice cream sundaes and play games in the park. We wash clothes at the laundromat and watch the fireflies in the dark. Today, we are riding on a train, Grandma, Mama, and me. We're bound to the bus to the county jail. Once we get out of the city, Grandma is reading the Bible. Mama's looking out the window. No one is speaking, not one word. We don't have much farther to go. I have so many questions I'd ask, but I'm afraid. I push my fingers through my mama's weaving, then tight like a braid. Standing tall in front of the jail, I breathe in and find the strength. I ask Mama, where will you sleep? She looks like her heart will break. Can I see your room? I ask. Mama's eyes are bright with tears. No, baby girl, no one is allowed. She speaks, but I don't hear. I wonder what Mama's cell looks like. Will it be cold inside? Are there warm blankets for her? My heart is pounding. I want to run and hide. I look into Mama's eyes. I don't want to see her cry. I don't want Mama to go to jail. She could always be by my side. Who will help me braid my hair? Who will I ask about homework? Mama makes it fun to learn. My chest begins to hurt. Mama opens her arms and wraps me up. She hugs me so tight. You be good. Take care of Grandma. Baby girl, I will be all right. So many questions are swirling in my head. I have time for just one more. When will I see you again, Mama? Soon, Queenie, soon, she says to me. Time will fly. Don't you worry, Queenie. Grandma Louise takes my hand, and we walk to the door. 2 years is not soon, I yell, as mad as my face turns red. Grandma gives me a look. I say sorry and hang my head. I don't want to leave my mama. She is in there all alone. But Grandma says it's time to go. We've got to catch the bus and the train home. Mama kisses my cheeks wet with tears. She turns and walks through the gate. I want to beg her not to go, to stay with us. Grandma and I are quiet as we ride home. When we arrive, I run to my room and just want to be alone. But there's a brand new quilt on my bed. It has photos of Mama and me, opening presents at Christmas, eating birthday cake, Mama holding my hand, holding me when I'm a baby. I throw myself onto the bed and wrap myself in memories. I fall asleep dreaming of my mama, her voice saying, "Sweet dreams, Queenie." The next day at school, my mind is wandering. The teacher calls on me, but I didn't hear. Is Mama lonely without me? Is she going to do okay? My heart is heavy with worry. 2 weeks go by, then one day, when school is done, I find a letter on my bed. It's Mama's handwriting, shining bright like the sun. The letter reads, "To my baby girl, Queenie, from Mama." I open it slowly. I sat down on my bed to read it, and my heart fills with peace. Dear baby girl, this is your Mama, and I love you. I love you before I even met you. I love you still, and I always will. Even though I'm away, my love is always here to stay. See you soon, Queenie. Love, Mama. And it's images of her and her grandmother and her mother at the park. Grandma comes into my room. She has a grilled cheese sandwich for me to eat. She says, "Do you want to visit Mama next Saturday?" I jump up and down and shout, "Yes, yes, yes." I rain down kisses all over Grandma's face. When bedtime comes, I hold the letter and darkness fills my room. I fall asleep hearing my Mama's voice. "See you soon, Queenie. See you soon." And that is the end. Thank you.
Each Sunday, our congregation dedicates 100% of its contributions to a 501c3 organization or neighborhood church-based social justice activities that are making a difference in our community and the world. You can donate in one of two ways. You can use your cell phone to donate by texting the word neighborhood to the number on the screen, which is there. Or if you prefer to donate in person, you can put your donation in one of the designated boxes during the music or after the service. There is a donation box here in the front, behind the back center row, straight that way, and in the narthex entryway by the table, on the table. You may rise during the music to put your donation in the box if you wish. Please extend help to those in your area who may need assistance reaching the donation boxes. If you wish to make a payment towards your pledge or contribute towards church operations, make a note in the subject line of a check or use an envelope that's available at the donation boxes. This week, our gifts will support Coffee with a Cause, great organization. Here with more information is board member Sarah Marcotte.
Good morning. Found my name tag. It was lost, or somebody else was me somewhere. Just here, yay. So I'm not here representing the pledge, so, but I will be soon. So what brings me here today is I am a board member for a worthy organization, Coffee with a Cause. And last week, those of you who were here may have seen Dan Davidson, the founder and CEO, and 2 clients turned staff members, Devin and Angelica, who were out there on the patio serving wonderfully roasted coffee and expertly prepared coffee drinks. So Dan gave a little overview of Coffee with a Cause, and I am here to reiterate some of those things. But first, I have a short video, so if we could pull the video up.
Rosebud Coffee in Pasadena. Coffee with a Cause is our nonprofit that owns and operates out of Rosebud Coffee in Pasadena, California. We provide job training and internships for youth who have experienced foster care, homelessness, or justice system involvement. After getting hands-on work experience, our program graduates get a year of support from a mentor, a screened and trained volunteer from our amazing community. Success for us is helping youth get and maintain employment on their path toward independence. Our local community helps make this a reality, and they love knowing that they are getting to support local youth with every sip.
Okay, and that last shot was of Dan there, who is a truly inspiring individual and a longtime friend of many people in this congregation. So pulled this right off their website. Coffee with a Cause empowers youth ages 16 to 24 who have experienced foster care, homelessness, or involvement with the justice system to build a pathway towards lasting employment, stability, and purpose. Now, at the core of their mission is their Ready, Set, Hire internship program. So it's a paid training initiative that combines hands-on experience with industry-recognized certifications and one-on-one mentorship for a full year to prepare these youth for meaningful careers. So this is truly a teach them to fish model, and I think if fishing were a way to make a buck, Coffee with a Cause would be teaching these kids how to tie a fly. But coffee is, fishing is not really a thing here in Los Angeles. But what I can say is that there are 12, soon to be 13 internship sites where these youth can get this hands-on job training. In restaurants, there's construction, there's retail, and then there are these 3 professional certifications that the youth can work towards, and leaving the program have these certifications. And that is being a barista, being a certified fitness trainer, and dog groomer. So over 100 young lives have been changed since Dan took this organization from a simple coffee cart to opening Rosebud in Pasadena, to soon open another Rosebud here or nearby in Highland Park, where I live. So you can bet I'll be getting my pastry on. It's a full kitchen, y'all. Like Neighborhood Church, this is truly an organization that has love at the center of everything that they do. And I have been so impressed with Dan and the other staff members I have met for their entrepreneurial ethos. There is not a grant that they won't apply for. There is not some new software they will try, all in service of these youth. They will do whatever they can, and they listen to the youth to make sure that they can set up an organization that really works for them and speaks to them and enables them to complete their job training and then go on a path towards employment and doing it themselves. So I hope that you will support this cause with me, and we are changing lives, one cappuccino, one pup cup, or one puppy cut at a time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your generosity today and every Sunday when you contribute. Thank you.
The falling leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves of red see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Since you went away, those days grow long, and soon I'll hear a winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
So the reading today that I have, the excerpt reading, is from a book called Let This Radicalize You. And actually, I want to spend a moment just to introduce myself. I don't know if that's actually happened. Hi, I'm Antoinette Marie Scully, newly Holloman, so that will be out there in the world. And I'm an educator, I'm a writer, and I'm a justice consultant, is sort of how I like to think about it. And so I do a lot of work online and in person, connecting people to communities in inclusive spaces. And so you may have seen my face before. I am a staff person for the UU Women's Federation at the national level. I am a staff person for the UU Justice Ministry of California at the state level, and I am the commissioned lay minister for First Unitarian Los Angeles in Koreatown at the local level. So I'm doing a lot of things, and mostly what this sermon will be about is I am on the Commission of Social Witness at the UUA, where we help steward justice work into our national conversation. And so all of the things that I've chosen for today are around the conversation of abolition. And this book, Let This Radicalize You, Organizing in the Revolution of Reciprocal Care, is by Kelly Hayes and Marina Kaba. And my excerpt is from a chapter that talks about women in prison, but really that's not the point of this excerpt. It's called Rejecting Our Fear of Each Other. When people comply with an action or tolerate a situation they know is harmful or wrong, fear is often a factor. Fear of punishment, of the unknown, of one another, often prevents us from protecting and connecting with each other. Powerful actors must keep us convinced that it's the people around us who pose the greatest threat to our safety, our well-being, and our happiness. It's the grandest illusion ever created in a world where corporations and governments worldwide are poised to annihilate most life on Earth, where we are made to believe that other disempowered people are the greatest danger we face. Of course, many of us know this is not true, at least intellectually. We know that the military and corporations are the primary drivers of climate chaos. We know that governments maintain conditions that generate despair and therefore produce interpersonal violence. And we know that under charged conditions, we would have far less to fear in the world, both from the system and from other people. We know that in a society where everyone's needs are met, we would no longer need to fear being unable to pay our health care, or losing our jobs, or going hungry, or being hurt by desperate, disillusioned people. And I'm gonna stop there.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things: cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things: girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things: when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad, so bad. Ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things: when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Gosh, I have to follow that. So now that you know a little bit about me, my sermon is called "The Future is Abolitionist." I am an abolitionist. I want to live in a world where there are no more police, no more prisons, where people are brought into deep relationships with each other rather than being isolated from their larger communities. A world that sees diversity as strength and upholds our shared values and dismantles the oppressive systems that keep us bound. where we build covenants that embody the worthiness of every person and bring us back into relationship when conflict arises. I want to live in a world where we don't put humans in cages, and instead of monitoring each other in destructive ways, we build networks of care and support. I know the future is an abolitionist one, where extractive systems are gone and everyone has exactly what they need. I've seen children thrive when they are supported in their fullness and wholeness. I've watched friends take a philosophical concept like this and build a better community network with it. People all over the world are building something new and better because they can envision a much better way. That way is abolition. And I feel it. I feel how people think of this as a dirty word in some circles, and many times people do not want to, we're apprehensive about engaging. Ugh. A world where dangerous criminals run wild on the streets, you said? A community with no order and complete unrest? Why would anyone want that? I'm glad you're wondering. We should be abolitionist because the abolitionist framework dismantles harmful systems and replaces them with models of love and liberation. At its core, when we apply these types of teachings, we are showing future generations how we will build in relationship to one another. Our interdependent web dictates how we interact with the land, the animals, and with other people. If we can ask ourselves to make those interactions one of care, then we are on the road to building that abolitionist future. As a political movement to end slavery of all kinds, I see the work of abolition in UU spaces specifically as continuing something we started so long ago. While our forebears were working to free enslaved Africans in what would become the United States, today we are working to dismantle the system that followed, its direct descendant, the prison industrial complex. Ugh. Prominent Unitarian and Universalist leaders, both past and present, have spoken to the theological and practical work of collective freedom. Theodore Parker, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, the Reverend Omega Burkhart, and a beautifully eloquent invitation to UU delegates at our General Assembly, your beloved minister said this June, quote, "Abolition means investigating, disrupting, changing, and abolishing the systems that were created purposefully to benefit some at the expense of others," end quote. I would add that it is a system built on punishment and sustained by our collective insistence on using punishment to solve our societal problems. Our values, like equity and generosity, necessitate that we see other methods, hint, hint, relationships. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition is a beautiful reminder that we have collective voice. We don't get our marching orders from on high, but from within. As a member of the Commission on Social Witness, I have the pleasure of working with an extraordinary team of justice warriors who help steward our collective voice into justice statements. Can I get a little insider baseball with you? The Commission has two ways to support collective action: the statements of conscience and the actions of immediate witness. And I'll use SOC for statement of conscience, and I'll use AIW for acts of immediate witness. The AIWs are immediate, right? Justice concerns that put forth at GA delegates and vote within the same year. You send it to us in March, it gets voted on in June. Statements of conscience otherwise come with a 3-year study called a Congregational Study Action Issue, and we call those CSAIs. The first year is voting on one study. That first year ended with the vote for abolition, transformation, and faith formation at the 2025 General Assembly. Now in our second year, the Commission and the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the sponsoring congregation for this abolition CSAI, are providing resources and workshops. So you might have already heard some that have happened and some that are happening as the year goes on. If you're unfamiliar with the Church of the Larger Fellowship, they are a completely online congregation that serves more than 2,000 incarcerated UUs. They're actually the largest UU congregation in the world. Their Worthy Now prison ministry facilitates a pen pal program and resources to support this work. You can do a worship service around this Worthy Now program. You can have a pen pal of an incarcerated person. It's actually a really meaningful thing to participate in. This is the year, on our second year, that we learn what it means to be a faith that believes in abolitionist models of care and a framework within this living tradition to bring true freedom to those who have been locked away. This second year of study will end at GA in 2026. The final delegate vote will be the following year, GA 27, to either enshrine this CSAI or decide this isn't who we are. And I believe this is who we are. I know, I'm sorry, that was a lot of jargon and acronyms and things. I'll try not to manage that anymore. This 3-year study is building relationships of hope in a time when things look bleak. ICE agents are snatching our community members daily. Anti-ICE protesters are being hit with federal charges. And our president, very recently, was quick to say in an interview that he himself would be fine being called a fascist. Abolition asks of us to find a better way. I suggest that that better way is through intentional study and these types of direct action. This will deepen our understanding of how abolition will address societal concerns and see this as an opportunity to grow within our faith tradition. So now you're thinking, yes, I'm on board, I want to do it. But I can't be an abolitionist because I can't literally dismantle the prison industrial complex. I see it, I hear it, I know. That's what I used to say. What can I do to make lasting systemic change in the lives of others? It wasn't until I became a mother that my views began to change about this. I had this longing to be a parent who saw my children for who they are and not people whom I owned or controlled. I didn't want to perpetuate some of the harmful parenting models of generations past, and so I went looking for a better way. When my kids were really little, some of the best teachers were other UU parents. They were implementing the 7 principles in their daily lives and honoring the inherent worth and dignity of their children. They built their home on the knowledge of consent, even at the youngest age, and didn't use punishment to shortcut a child's understanding. It may sound strange, but when I think about the relationships I've built with my children and my family members, it's not about getting something from them. It's about making sure we all have what we need and honoring each of us for who we really are. I believe that one of the best ways to build an abolitionist future is through shared equity and moving away from punishment in all aspects of life. That's not to say that it's easy. Our society is built on punishment. We have blame coursing through our entire ecosystem. Parenting in a way that allows my children to have a voice, especially at a young age, showed me that we can live in a society that doesn't just look for wrongdoing, but also uplifts the journey a person goes through as they learn to be an active member of society. So what can you do to make lasting change in the lives of others? I've got a framework for that. It's quite simple. I call it the big A, little a abolition model. Has anyone heard this? No? Okay. So, big A abolition is people who are actively working to dismantle police and prisons. They're lobbying and creating legislation. They are working in government positions, in prison institutions. They are creating and running nonprofits that serve incarcerated or formerly incarcerated people. I'm not doing big A abolition. I'm not in that sphere. Yes, I try my best to uplift policies that would end incarceration and to be well educated in the ways that racism perpetuates stereotypes and mass arrests. But I do not work on the ground in organizations like Initiate Justice or Mass Liberation. I do what I call a little a abolition. This is a life where relationships are the most important way that we are in the world. A relationship where everyone gets what they need and brings all of who they are. When I'm creating trainings and workshops, I make sure that we are making space for people to bring their whole selves. I support restorative justice work within organizations by offering listening circles, working with others who are building inclusive spaces like the Zoom Inclusion Ministry, allowing for these care networks to cascade throughout our faith. I even host an annual community event that centers public safety away from policing, creating an alternative model. If you're interested, you can ask me about Night Out for Safety and Liberation later. Little a abolition is the practice of removing punishment from your everyday life, especially when it's not needed. I talk a bit about consent practices with my children and making space for marginalized people. But I also see actions like shared ministry and leadership, community care, as abolitionist practices, practices that you're probably already doing. You see, you can build a relationship around the little a model too. But how do you know? How do you know that you are removing punishment from your everyday actions? Here are 2 questions you can ask yourself every time you get stuck. Do I need help? Or am I trying to get someone in trouble? You're thinking about it. When my children were little, they would often run to me to try and intervene with every little squabble. I have 2 kids. So who else here has had that instance where their kid is like, oh, she's touching me, she won't hit me, she won't bother me. So I would ask them, this is when my kids were like, I would say they're 2.5 years old, 2.5 years apart. They're much older now, but like 5 and 3, right? And I would say, do you need help? Or are you trying to get your sibling in trouble? My littles did not see this as a trick question and would immediately offer it up. If they needed help, I was always obliged to help. I'm happy to, of course, I'll stop what I'm doing. Help is on the way. But if they were just trying to get their sibling in trouble, I would take no part. Nope, I will not help you do that thing that is just to get your sister in trouble. Most of the time, this simple binary can guide you towards the kind of relationship you want to create in that moment. You can ask yourself this set of questions. Do I need help, or am I trying to get someone in trouble? And always be the helper. And that means just like, don't do the police's job, right? Police you, don't police other people, is sort of the idea here. And so I'll give you a hint. In an abolitionist future, we are never trying to get someone in trouble. This does not excuse or negate accountability. We want communities where we are accountable to each other, where we don't run from life's daily conflicts, and remember that we want meaningful relationships built on trust. It is an exercise of compassion and patience. I don't want to paint this image that it doesn't take practice. This framework helps me in the moment, reminding me to offer grace in all situations. The goal is not to be perfect, it's just to start. Build this into a spiritual practice and give little a abolition some attention, intention, and repetition in your life. Allow yourselves to stay curious as we continue on this year-long journey of learning and discovery. Every moment is a new opportunity to create a relationship with someone in our beautiful web of interdependence. Thank you so much for having me here in your sacred space as we embark on this journey together. I am an abolitionist because I want to live in a just world where we continue to create communities of trust and love. We will have to do it together in relationship, and I know that there is no other way for us to find our greater purpose and collective freedom. Thank you.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, number 414, as we leave this friendly place.
As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn guide our hearts till we meet.
Our chalice extinguishing comes from Krista Tavies, The Work We Share. It is our work shared with each other in covenant that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguish this chalice, but the light lives on. In the directions we have chosen today, the light of this faith lives on in us, together in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen and blessed be.